Hello everybody, today I am going to share a very interesting story related to an idiomatic expression, that is to cut the Gordian knot. So what is the legend behind that? I'll tell you about all that. So there was a small empire, a small kingdom that was named Phrygia. Yes, I mentioned all that here on the board, you can see. So Phrygia was without king in those times, and there was an oracle of, you can see, Telmesus. So there was an oracle that whoever will pass the kingdom or the city gate with an ox cart should be declared the king of the kingdom of that empire. So that was the oracle. And soon after that, what happened? A peasant named Gordias. Yes, a peasant named Gordias passed that way. He entered the city on an ox cart and he was with his son Midas. You might have heard Midas touch, so it is that Midas, yes. So he entered that kingdom, that city, and as it was an oracle, so he was very happily declared the king of that empire. And then, as a mark of gratitude, Midas, Gordia's son, he dedicated that ox cart to the god there, and the god, as I mentioned here, is Sabazius. So he dedicated that ox cart to the god Sabazius, and Sabazius is actually compared with Zeus, Greek god Zeus. So, and there what he did, he tied that ox cart to a post. And what he used to tie that, what did he use actually? He used this bark of cornel tree. So cornel is a flowering plant. So he used that bark of cornel tree to tie that ox cart to the post there, and he tied it with such intricate knots that it was very difficult to make out the ending and the beginning. So many knots were there and all entangled uh, one on other, so it was very difficult to understand that how it had been knotted, and it was very difficult to unknot that. So now what happened, that after centuries later, years later, what happened, it was in 4th century actually, that Alexander passed that way, and another oracle actually was there. So what was the oracle? That who would just unravel the knots, who would actually unknot that, untie those knots, would become the conqueror of Asia, or would conquer Asia. So that was the miracle. And Alexander wanted to undo the knots, he wanted to untie those knots. So what he did, he went and tried. And this ox cart was still there. Alexander visited that small kingdom, which actually now turned into a small province, a small Persian province. So he went there, he found the cart there, and he wanted to untie those knots, but he was quite puzzled when he looked at that. And finally, what he did, he said that say it doesn't matter that how it is loosened. The only thing is to loosen it or untie it. So what he did, he took his sword and just cut it into two halves. There is another version of it which says that he actually just took it out from the linchpin, and that way he loosened the knots, or he untied that. So that was how he did it. And here the meaning of, if I explain the meaning of cut the Gordian knot or cutting the Gordian knot, is what? To solve a problem in an out of the box fashion, in an unorthodox fashion, in an effective manner. So that is the meaning of cutting a Gordian knot, right? So this is the whole story behind this cutting the Gordian knot. Now, apart from this, I would also like to share some very interesting facts about the root scrib. Yes. So here you can see I have written the roots scrib or script, which means to write. And I've chosen this because there are several words on this root, and you can see proscribe, prescribe, describe, subscribe, inscribe. scribble. So many words are there, and I would also like to share some stories related to one of these words actually, and that is proscribe. So as I said, scribe or this scrib or scrip, which means to write. Now pro means before and scribe means to write, right? So that is the, if we break this word, that meaning, that is the meaning we get. But actually the meaning of proscribe is to ban. Now why exactly so? So in ancient Roman times, what happened if somebody was say banned, somebody was found out to be involved in criminal activities or some immoral activities, then on a public notice board they would write the name of that person, and the message was that the people, the public there should not associate with that person, and his property and money would be confiscated, or he would have to forfeit his property and money. So that would be the message, that public don't have to associate with that person. So as the name was written beforehand, and it was to outlaw that specific person, so that's why later on what the meaning of proscribe became ban. So we use proscribe to mention ban, that I have prescribed, the doctor has prescribed these things for you, or these books are prescribed here. So that means banned here. So that is the meaning, that's the story behind this. And then these are the simple words, as you know, prescribe, the doctor prescribes medicine for patients. It means he writes beforehand that what the patient has to take. Then we have subscribe. Subscribe means to pay, or just your put your sign below the document, or say means at the bottom of the document. So that is subscribe. And similarly inscribe, that is to engrave. Then describe, that is to explain. So many words. Scribble. Scribble means to jot, that people generally say they jot when they have to write something in hurry or haste. So that is scribbling. So these are just some of the words which are on these roots, scrib and script, right? So I hope you might have understood everything I explained, and I'll come up with more such things for you. So till then, thank you very much.